Do you have herpes and you're trying to figure out the right time to tell someone? Whether it's someone you're dating, or maybe even a friend or a family member, or maybe you've told someone before and it totally backfired. So now you're second guessing yourself or wondering if it's even worth telling anyone ever again. Well, in this episode of Herpes Wellness, I'm going to say what most people won't. I'm not going to give you a script, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to talk about what really matters when it comes to disclosure. And some of what I'm going to say may go against everything you've heard before. So be sure to stick around to find out whether how you say it actually matters, what to do if someone walks away, how herpes can be your personal BS detector, why you don't need everyone's yes, and the truth about when the right time to tell someone actually is. Hi, I'm Cat Dupree, and I help people to navigate life with herpes. And for those that are new to this channel, I want to welcome you. And for those that are returning, welcome back. I am so grateful to have all of you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here at Herpes Wellness, we provide education, support, and empowerment for those living with herpes. And if you don't have herpes and you're looking for more information, we're here to help you too. Now, before we dive in, I want to invite you to join our community by downloading the Herpes Wellness app. There you'll have free access to our forums where you can ask questions, seek advice, and help other members along their journeys. And for anyone who signs up for the free support membership prior to June 30th, 2025, we're going to upgrade you to the Connection membership, which includes access to a whole bunch of cool features, like a listing in our member directory and member search, direct messaging with other members, a group chat lounge, member-led events, both virtual and in person, plus monthly live streams with me, where we talk about everything herpes. Now, normally this membership is $19 a month, but you're going to get this access for free for as long as you remain a member. And if you're wondering about privacy, we've got you totally covered. The app icon will say H Wellness. So if someone happens to see your screen, you're not outed unintentionally. So be sure to join us at Herpes Wellness. The link to download the app for both the App Store and Google Play is in the description box below. Now let's get into it. Now, before we begin, I'm going to tell you how I came out to my current boyfriend who doesn't have genital herpes, because it wasn't exactly your typical approach. So just to give you a little bit of a background, we met at a meditation group and we became like really good friends first. There were no expectations. It was just two people connecting and getting to know one another, right? At some point along the way, I actually mentioned that I was starting a business, but I didn't say what kind and why, because honestly, I was scared. Crazy, right? It is. It's just totally crazy, because after all the healing that I had done from the emotional toll that herpes had caused me throughout the years, whether that was reading tons of books, watching hundreds of videos from experts, and taking part in a ton of healing activities to get my head right, there was still a part of me that was afraid to tell him, or anyone for that matter, that I had herpes. So here I was building this entire platform, Herpes Wellness, to help people like you to speak their truth. And I still wasn't ready to speak mine to him. He kept asking me, what is it about? And what are you working on? And I was like ducking and I was like dodging and telling him I wasn't ready to share it with anyone. And then one night, after 2 glasses of wine, I had to use some liquid courage. I did. I finally told him. But well, I actually didn't tell him. I just like grabbed my laptop and I put it on the counter and I opened it up and I literally showed him what I was doing. And that was the moment that I came out. I didn't have a perfect line. I didn't have a game plan. I was just like, here you go. And I'm not going to lie, I was nervous as hell. Then I said, I want you to take a really good look at what it is that I'm working on. Go on, take a look. And then afterwards, he got really quiet. And you know what he said to me? Wait till you hear this. He actually said, I have to go to the bathroom and I'll be right back. And my mind was like, really? What? And then in an instant, I thought, oh crap, did I just make a huge mistake? Maybe I shouldn't have told him anything. And my mind started going like down that rabbit hole of thoughts, right? And then I took a few deep breaths, and after my mind stopped racing, I told myself, you can't control how he reacts. You can only control how you respond. And then I reminded myself that no matter what happened next, that I'd be okay. And after what felt like a friggin' eternity, he came back, looked at me and said, I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. What can I do to help? And I was totally floored. And then he proceeded to share with me that he gets cold sores, like HSV1. And I have to admit, I felt so relieved. And not because he has herpes too, like hell no, but because I felt like he could relate to me in some way. And even though HSV1 and HSV2 are totally different experiences, and one is way more acceptable in society than the other, there was a sense of understanding. And what's crazy is that I had built up this moment in my head for so long, and instead of rejection, it actually led to a deeper connection. So, what's the lesson here? It's not about how you say it. We put so much pressure on ourselves to find the right words. Like, if we just deliver the news just right, we can avoid judgment, rejection, or any other kind of pain. But the fact is, it doesn't work like that. Nothing does for that matter. You could give the most articulate, well-rehearsed disclosure in the world, and someone could still be like, whoa. Or you can blurt it out half nervously over a couple of glasses of wine like I did, and it can open up the door to something deeper. So it's not about how you say it that actually matters, but how you show up that does. And what do I mean by this? Are you grounded? Are you being real? And most importantly, do you believe you're worthy no matter what someone's reaction is? Because if you're still carrying around that shame and fear, people will feel it. But if you're showing up with confidence, even if you're nervous inside like I was, they're going to feel that too. So no, it's not about what you've rehearsed over and over again, like in your head. It's not about being polished. It's just about like being yourself, being authentic, because the truth doesn't need to be perfect. Now, speaking about perfection, let's talk about the fear of saying it wrong, because if you're anything like I was, you're probably thinking about that too, or you even thought about it. Let me just say it. You don't need to say it right either, because there is no right way. There just isn't. And I know that's hard to believe. Look, there are experts out there who want you to believe that if you say just the right thing, everything will be great. But let's be real. You could be calm as a cucumber and feel confident in your own skin, and someone could still walk away. Or you could do what I did and get some liquid courage while feeling nervous as frickin' hell and just blurt it out and be met with compassion and understanding. It's just a total friggin' crapshoot. It truly is. So when your heart is pounding and you're like sitting there wondering, what if I screw this up? What if I say too much or not enough? What if I make it weird? Just stop. Just stop, because disclosure isn't about the delivery. It's not about impressing someone, and it's definitely not about managing their emotions so that you feel safe. It's about being honest and truthful, and that's it. So when you get out of your head and you stop trying to get it right and you just speak from your heart, that's when people feel you. You're not trying to be flawless. You're just being real. So if you're obsessing over the perfect line or Googling how to disclose herpes to a partner for the 100th time, I want you to pause. I want you to take a breath and ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid of rejection, judgment, or shame, or what anybody thinks, what would I say? Because that's your answer. And that version, the real one, that's the only one that matters. Now, let's talk about the fear that's on most people's minds. What if I tell them and they walk away? Look, that fear is so real. And if you felt it, you're not alone. We've all been there. Hell, I've been there. So many times. There's this moment like after disclosure where like everything pauses, and the only way that I can describe it is like being in a room when you're naked and it's full of people because you feel so exposed and so vulnerable. And then suddenly your head starts spinning and you're thinking, are they going to be okay with this? Did I just ruin things? Are they going to leave? And let me say it straight. If someone walks away because you have herpes, as one of my favorite authors and speakers, Mel Robbins, says, let them. I've had many people ghost me and walk away, like more times than I can count. And does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. And it feels personal as hell too. It really does. But trust me when I say that it's not about you. It's about them. Their comfort level and their fears, those belong to them. And someone walking away doesn't mean you're unlovable, undesirable, dirty, gross, or any of that crap that you were led to believe. It just means that person isn't ready or isn't your person, period. And trust me when I tell you, you don't want to build intimacy, whether that's emotional or physical, with someone who's only there when it's easy. If herpes scares them off, that tells you something. And it's better to know that now than to invest in someone who can't fully show up. And this doesn't just apply to romantic partners, by the way. Sometimes a friend could change their tune after you tell them. All of a sudden, they're distant and they act weird around you, or they go silent and fade out. And if they do, then I have news for you. They were never your friend to begin with. And family members, they may even do the same. They might pull back or act differently or treat you like your diagnosis says something about your character. And if this happens, let me be clear again. That has nothing to do with you. That's their fear, their lack of education, their internalized stigma. Don't you dare make it about something about your worth. Don't make it mean anything. Because trust me, if someone shrinks you down to your diagnosis, they were never seeing you clearly to begin with. When I told my now boyfriend, like I shared earlier, he got quiet. And then he got up and walked to the damn bathroom. And yeah, my heart sank. It did. Because I had no idea what was coming next. But I reminded myself, I did, that I can't control his reaction and his emotion toward it. All I can do is stand in my truth and stay grounded in who I am and keep my emotions in check. Because in reality, the only thing that you can control are your emotions. And when he came back, he surprised me in the most amazing way. But even if he hadn't, I knew I'd be okay. Because here's the thing. I wasn't there to convince him of anything. Not to be my friend or a boyfriend, for that matter. I was just there to be open and honest. Here I am. Here's what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. I was exposed and vulnerable, and I was totally okay. So if you're holding back because you're afraid someone might leave, ask yourself this. Do you really want someone who's only around when everything is just a bed of roses? Or do you want someone who will show up when things get real? Look, you're not looking for a savior, and you're certainly not looking for someone to accept you like you're broken. You're looking for someone who sees you, all of you, and still wants all in. And if they walk, see ya. Because the right people won't run and treat you differently because of your condition. That's for damn sure. Now, here's the thing I've learned, and I want you to really let this one sink in, okay? Herpes is the best BS detector I have ever had, and I kid you not. I kid you not. Instead of sitting around wondering if someone's going to judge me, I've used disclosure as a way to find out what someone else is really made of. You know, like, are they kind? Are they emotionally mature? Can they handle real conversations? Are they there for connection or just for convenience? Because whether it's a potential partner, a close friend, or even a family member, how someone reacts when you tell them that you have herpes says way more about them than it does about you. Now, listen, I'm not saying that everyone needs to say, wow, this is great, yay, and have some big kumbaya moment and give you a hug. No. Some people might decide that they're not comfortable having an intimate relationship with you or any relationship with you, and that's totally cool. What matters, though, is how they treat you in that moment. Do they get weird and back away? Do they get quiet all of a sudden and like shut down on you? Do they ghost you like a coward? Do they throw some subtle judgment your way and act like you're suddenly different? Or do they take a second and ask some real questions and stay in the conversation? That's what tells you who someone is and who you decide to let in. So instead of seeing herpes as something that like might push people away, I see it as a tool that helps me bring the right people closer to me. It filters out the emotionally unavailable ones, the ones who aren't ready, and the ones who only want a surface level connection, if you know what I mean. Herpes has a way of weeding out that crap real fast. So yeah, I don't dread disclosure anymore. I use it to my advantage. And look, when you tell a potential partner, is it possible you'll never hear from them again? Yeah, it is. And as hard as that feels, that's okay too. But here's what matters. How did they treat you in that moment? Did they shut down immediately and like leave you feeling like crap? Or did they hang out with you anyway? Did they treat you the same way they did before you told them? Even if they ultimately decide not to pursue something more? Because not everyone that says no to intimacy is a bad person. Sometimes they're just not up for it, and that's totally cool. But how they respond, that's what you pay attention to. Even if you never hear from someone again, did they respect you and treat you with respect in that moment? Did they hold space for your truth, or did they shrink? And by the way, this doesn't just apply to potential partners. You mean friends and family might not ghost you, but they sure as hell can shift on you. Maybe they avoid the topic, or they pull away, or say something that makes you feel like absolute crap. And if they do, that's still information. That tells you everything, because people show you who they are by the way they treat you. And that's how you know who gets to earn a seat at your table and who doesn't. And once you start recognizing this, the next step becomes like super, super clear, which is you don't need everyone's yes. You don't. And I know that might be hard to hear, especially when all you want to do is be accepted and be chosen and not have to explain or defend yourself for having herpes. But here's the truth. If you love yourself, if you know your self-worth, if you're comfortable in your skin, then someone else's yes just isn't required. Their approval doesn't define your value. Their comfort doesn't determine your confidence. And their choice, sure as hell, doesn't have a final say-so on your worth. Does rejection suck? Hell yeah, it does. It does. I'd be lying to you if it didn't. But when you're solid in who you are, it doesn't shake you. Because the more that you accept yourself, the less you need anyone else to. You stop performing, you stop people-pleasing, and you stop bending over backwards to be liked. And let's be honest, when you're chasing a yes, it shows. People can feel that energy. You know, when you're trying to like prove yourself or earn someone else's approval, it comes off needy. Even if you don't say it out loud, your vibe says, please accept me. And you know what? That energy pushes people away. It's like a repellent. But when you show up already loving yourself, when you're standing in your truth, with no shame, but with self-respect, people feel that too. And that energy is magnetic, because the energy you put out is exactly the kind of energy you're going to attract. How you feel on the inside about yourself becomes a mirror of what shows up in your life. So if you're walking around with the vibe that says, I'm not confident and I need someone else to make me feel worthy, you're going to attract people that reflect that right back to you. And you know what those kind of people are? People who don't treat you well. People who don't value you. People who sense the insecurity and take advantage of it. But if you walk in the world already owning who you are, you attract people who meet you there. People who respect you. People who get it. People who are ready. Because here's the real kicker. Not needing someone else's yes is taking your power back. And it's not just from what other people think of you, but from herpes too. You're saying, I decide how I feel about me. not someone else, and definitely not herpes, just me. And when you stop letting herpes control how you show up and who you think you can date, or how much you open up, or how worthy you feel, you are no longer carrying the weight. You're actually the one calling the shots. So no, you don't need people to say yes. You just need to say yes to yourself. To yourself. And when you do that, everything, and I mean everything in your life, will start to shift. Now, after everything that I've talked about today, here's what everyone always wants to know. When is the right time to tell a potential partner that you have herpes? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. There just isn't a right time to tell someone that you have herpes. There just isn't. You could tell them after the first date. You could wait a few weeks. Maybe it's after a good conversation, or maybe it's right before things get, physical and intimate. Everyone wants some magic formula, but here's the truth. There isn't one. There isn't one. You may see programs out there telling you that you need to feel totally safe first, that you should only tell a select few, that you need to protect your secret at all costs. And listen, I get where that comes from, but I don't fully agree. The right time to tell someone isn't about them. It's not about how safe the moment feels or how safe someone else makes you feel. It's about you and whether you feel strong and confident enough in who you are. Because let's be real. If you're still carrying fear, if you still feel like herpes makes you unlovable or broken, then it doesn't matter when you say it. It's going to feel scary and uncomfortable every single time. And I'm not just talking about dating here. This goes for friends and family or anyone else you're close to. Because being vulnerable with the people that matter the most, that's never easy. But it's not about ease. It's about ownership. And what do I mean by this? I mean fully accepting and standing in your truth without shame or apology. It's about no longer hiding or shrinking because you have herpes. It's about loving yourself and feeling confident in your own skin. It's about being able to say, I have herpes, and it is what it is. And most importantly, it's about not needing anyone else's approval to feel okay about it because you're okay about it. So if you're waiting for a moment or a person to make you feel safe and secure, or for it to be easy and perfect, I've got news for you. You're going to be waiting a hell of a long time. A hell of a long time. Trust me when I tell you, the day that you stop waiting for or wanting approval from other people is a total game changer. And you'll no longer be afraid to speak your truth, no matter what people think and what the outcome will be. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked today's episode, please like and subscribe to the channel. And remember to join our free online community by searching for Herpes Wellness in the App Store or Google Play. Or you can just click the link below in the description box to download. And if there are any herpes topics that you'd like for me to discuss on the show, please leave it in the comments. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you the next time on the Herpes Wellness Podcast. Bye for now.